buy them in the pieces in the store and forget about really the nostalgia of creating your custom paper. Custom papers today in the stores, fiber papers, very expensive for one sheet. We've got a kit, a complete paper making kit for $39.95. It's Arnold Grummer's Papermill, and we have his son Craig here to take us through exactly how we can make a piece of paper. We're going to make a piece of paper in this demonstration. So come on in, Greg. Nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you too,
Great
Kelly.
to have you back.
Say, by way of saying thanks for having me on, I brought you a handmade card.
Thank you. Now, is this the type of paper that you made with this kit?
Well, the amazing thing is I made that card myself, and if you knew me, you'd know that I'm extremely art challenged.
Good job. Good job.
It's very, very easy for me to do. I made it in less than 10 minutes, so it's a really simple process.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Well, what exactly will we receive? I see this Papermill box, but do we have everything we need here to make a piece of paper?
Everything you need is here. You have the decal, which forms the sheet of paper. You have the paper making screen that it forms on. You have the water removal system, illustrated direction sheets, a little guidebook that gives you some more information about paper making. So it's a complete kit. Everything is completely reusable. Are
these extras or are these also in the kit?
This is not in the kit. These are just some things that I'm going to be using to further decorate my paper embellishments that many of you people may already have. So,
great. Okay.
Yeah.
So how do we start?
Well, what you do is you recycle paper by using paper. I have some examples of things you can recycle here. Now, I'm going to use a letter I've gotten from the IRS. Not only am I artistically challenged, I'm accountably challenged.
Recycle.
So, yes, I tear that up, and just tearing it up feels good, let alone making a nice sheet of paper. And I'm going to take it and throw it into the blender.
So a blender, okay.
Then I'm going to add some water.
And these are all, I mean, complete instructions, very thorough instructions in your
illustrated direction sheet that's very easy to follow.
Do you have to make a specific amount? Do you have to measure the water? Does it matter?
The water is really not important. You just want the blender to work correctly. So you have enough water in there for it to work. Turn the blender on for about 30 to 45 seconds to make sure that everything is pulped up.
Okay.
Turn it off, and here's where I can add a little bit of fun to my sheet. You can use a lot of botanicals right from your garden if you like to go on early morning walks. You can keep your eyes open in your neighbors' yards and pick the little flowers that you might see growing there.
Or even blades of grass.
Blades of grass. Anything that's organic is really interesting to throw in your paper, and you're always going to get a little bit different effect depending on what you use. So I throw in some botanical, just a few. You don't really need to do a lot. You don't need to overload your sheet with these embellishments, just a sprinkle. These are iridescent flakes. It's going to give it just a little bit of a shimmer. And I'm going to add a little bit of these copper flakes.
Now, in fact, you can find these in many of your local craft stores.
Certainly.
We will see if we have, I don't know if we have those available on hsn.com, but we're just giving you an idea of some extras that you can add into the paper making kit. It's the paper making kit, you'll have the wood frame, the drain rack, the water removal screen, the blotter sheets, the pressing bar. You'll also receive the sponge, the guidebook, and the illustrated directions. And
okay, now I've just brushed it around a little bit to get the fibers evenly distributed. I pull, and as you can see, the sheet forms right on the paper making screen just like that. Very simple, and it's very beautiful because you're working with some beautiful things. That's the really nice thing about paper making. What you're working with is beautiful, so you don't have to do a lot to make the end product turn out very nicely. Now that I've got my sheet formed, I'm going to just remove the rest of the water, and I'll have the whole thing finished. And like I said, in less than 10 minutes. You can go start to finish. About 5 minutes for a sheet of paper, no problem.
I thought making paper was much more involved.
I know.
We
get that all the time. People think it's really difficult, and it's not. It's so simple. If it weren't simple, believe me, I wouldn't be standing here doing it.
Well, your family's company has been in business for 15 years, specializing in paper crafts.
My dad developed this system. He worked for the Institute of Paper Chemistry and the science end of things, and in doing that, he came up with this system. He didn't invent any component, but he put a lot of different components together. So we've been working with this. It's in his blood. It's now in our whole family's blood. We've been working with it for a long time. So there. Now I've used these coot sheets as blotter sheets to help remove the matted fiber off of the paper making screen.
And you will receive all those sheets as well.
And once I get it off the paper making screen, I can now use the press bar to put a little more surface tension on the sheet. This will give me a nice hard surface so you can run this through your laser printer. You can type on it. For those of you who still have typewriters, you can write on it, do calligraphy. There's a lot of different things you can do with this finished sheet, just like with ordinary paper. Now that it's a lot drier, it's a lot stronger, I've removed a lot of water. We're almost to the end stage, and here I'm going to actually iron this sheet dry. And that's what allows me to go start to finish in like 5 minutes. If I couldn't iron it, I could maybe dry it slowly under pressure, let it sit out. But if you can't keep pressure on the surface of the sheet throughout the drying process, it's not going to have a hard surface. So it's really good to be able to compact the surface while you're drying.
Could I layer it between two heavy books?
You could, if you could put it in a book and layer it under a bunch of heavy books, that would work, and that's a very nice way to dry paper as well.
Okay.
Now, have you seen me do anything here that you don't think that anyone else would have any trouble doing?
No, in fact, this is easier than I thought it would be. Now, at 239, 238, we have about 30 seconds left in our presentation. In less than 5 minutes, in fewer than 5 minutes, we've created a piece of paper. I thought it took hours. I thought it was this huge, huge involved process. It isn't it. We just showed you how to make paper. How cool is that, everybody? 239, 238. Your paper will look different each and every time, and what you put in the mix, just like baking a cake, what you put in the mix will be different every time. So you'll really have fun creating those unique pieces of paper. Unique to you, no one will have a card. No one will have this card. This paper was made special for me. So love to have you make your own special designs and give this. This is a great, great kit for the science projects for the kids.
Yes, definitely.
And to create those custom cards for yourself. Greg, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks.
Pleasure having you. Wow, that's a neat, neat kit. 239-238, Arnold Grummer's Papermill Complete Paper Making Kit here at HS.